and one Nate just made about the letters being found and addressed directly to him. It says in chapter 4, just a couple pages farther than where we're discussing right now, that after he turns, he gives the pigtail to Dudley. Are you laughing at me?
No.
Yes, you are.
No, she...
Jane's not. She is.
No, I was just gonna say, she looked at me, and I just said, we're good, and that's all.
It says that Hagrid, it tells Harry, I'm not supposed to do magic, strictly speaking. I was allowed to do a bit to follow you and get your letters and stuff. One of the reasons I was so keen to take this job.
Yeah.
So Hagrid took advantage of the situation a little bit.
He took the job and was specifically following and watching Harry and used magic to get the letters addressed specifically to him. Why wouldn't they have done something if they were watching him or knew about how shitty of a situation he was in, even for the couple of days they were attempting to get the letters?
100% agree.
That's where I was trying to go
Right.
with it way earlier, but I didn't write it down, so.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that like you were saying, the neglect of, Dumbledore and Hagrid and all the Hogwarts staff, we have exterior knowledge of the situation, but they still could have stepped in to some degree, knowing what they knew, and they didn't. Not even a couple days earlier, as far as Hagrid and everybody is concerned. They know where he is. They know that they're moving him to keep him away from the letters, and they still waited a couple days to send Hagrid, of all people. I find it funny that Hagrid's yeah, I wanted to use magic, when, I would have said, hey, I saw you when you were a baby and I brought you, there's a little bit of an emotional disconnect. Hagrid was sobbing the last time he saw him. As he says that, the last time I saw you, you were a baby, but if he says I wanted to use magic a little bit later, and, yeah, I would be also...
Good to see ya.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. You're saying the last time he saw Harry is when they were dropping him off. And he was bawling like a wounded dog, was it?
Yeah.
He was howling. He was sad.
Yeah.
And Hagrid, he's just a big emotional giant, so he's sensitive. And so now he's seeing Harry again, and instead of being dude, I saw you then, and emotional like Hagrid is, he was I got to use magic, that's why I took the job. And it's different than what happened originally.
Yeah, and he just mentioned I saw you as a baby last. He didn't, there's no, I saw you the night your parents were were killed, and I brought you to this family. Yeah, emotional disconnect a little bit there.
Yeah.
So he's starting to question these things, and he's realizing there's a lot of secrets, a lot of hidden knowledge that he's unaware of. And then Aunt Petunia pipes up and finally is just spewing out her opinion. And she just starts going off. She's had these deep down feelings about this, and she's just letting it all out that, of course, she knew, and her freak of a sister, and her parents were so proud of her, and I think there's a little sibling rivalry there.
And then she does that wonderful line about how she went and got herself blown up and we got landed with you. Because she's such a peach.
So heartfelt, emotional right there.
And then Harry was the fuck? Blown up? You told me they died in a car crash.
Which Hagrid is furious about. He loses it, man. He screams at him. He's saying, how could a car crash kill Lily and James Potter?
Which kind of brings me to a point, I guess. Wizards and witches can survive car crashes in a different way than muggles could.
I think it's the idea, why would Lily and James be in a car?
Oh, that's true, too, yeah. Why would they be in a car? they can do magic.
You can fly and apparate and all that cool shit. So.
Right.
That, or maybe if they were in a car and got in an accident, because they had magic, they'd be able to protect themselves in some way. Like, maybe they were really powerful. Little car crash, that ain't nothing. Brush it off.
It is implied that they're very strong. Like, that is how it comes off, too. You're right.
So now Hagrid's realizing that he has to tell Harry some of this information that's been kept from him. And he doesn't want him going off to Hogwarts not knowing.
Right, now he gets to be the one that tells him.
Because he knows if he brings him anywhere without him knowing, it's going to be weird. A little awkward, maybe, if Harry is unaware that everyone knows his name.
It's gonna break his head.
And then there's another name that everyone knows, telling him that it starts with this person. But he doesn't like saying the name. No one does. He does it to give Harry some knowledge about what has happened in his life and how this has all led up to this moment. And he says, Voldemort.
I love the way that Harry, that it comes out, the way that he says it. Can you write it down? And, and Hagrid's like, I can't spell it. So I might as well just say it, even though I hate saying it. Voldemort. You have something to say, Jay?
When Hagrid is explaining the story of Voldemort to Harry, just something that jumped out to me was he makes the comment to him, the only safe place was Hogwarts at the time, because he figured he was afraid of Dumbledore, so he didn't try, and he says it, he doesn't try to take the school just then anyway, and makes that comment as if like he knows he's going to try again.
The implication that it could happen. Because I think because a little bit later, Hagrid does say that he does believe that he's out there still, just waiting. Because Voldemort tried to kill Harry, and now nobody knows what happened to him, and Hagrid believes that he's just reduced to a shell of his former self out there somewhere.
And this is where then he does start to show that emotion. He gets a little weepy, having to tell him that Voldemort had killed his parents, and he tried to kill Harry.
He tells him about the scar that's on his forehead, and he asks him if he's ever wondered where he got the scar from. And he said that was no ordinary cut, and he tells him that's what happens when, like, you're attacked by evil, essentially. And he tells him that nobody lives after Voldemort decided to kill somebody. They're pretty much as good as gone, and Harry is the only known survivor.
And as he's saying this, something is going on in Harry's head, and he sees the flash of green light again.
Mm-hmm.
More clearly than he'd ever remembered it before, and he remembered something else for the first time ever. A high, cold, cruel laugh.
Hagrid says, I took you from the ruined house myself on Dumbledore's orders. Brought you to this lot. He's telling Harry that I dropped you off here with these people, and Mr. Dursley is trying to call bullshit, but it doesn't work. Like, not at all. Hagrid is pretty well in control of the situation.
Warning him.
Right.
One more word, and then Vernon takes off again and falls silent against the wall.
And he's pointing an umbrella at him. But I just find it to be funny that he's pointing an umbrella at him, and they're scared of an umbrella.
Yeah, to an outsider, the scene is pretty funny.
He's a big dude, though. Anything could really be a weapon in his hands.
This is true.
A little pink umbrella like that, you could stab a guy. Guy his size, yeah. You can make that happen.
Hey, Harry still has tons of things he needs answers to, though. He's like, what happened to Voldemort? Sorry, you know who. Because, obviously, you have an issue with the name Voldemort for some weird reason.
So they're not going to say it. And Hagrid tells him that he's vanished. He's disappeared, and they don't really know. Some suspect that he's dead. Some think he's out there plotting. They don't know.
Yeah, they aren't sure what happened to Voldemort. But Hagrid thinks that he didn't die. That's Codswallop, in his opinion. He doesn't think he's got enough human in him left to die. Some think he's still out there, biding his time, but he probably would have came back if he could, Hagrid thinks.
Yeah.
He thinks that he's lost his powers and he's just out there somewhere too weak to carry on. Because something about Harry is special.
Don't they say that Harry's parents were both head boy and girl? Doesn't Hagrid explain that to him as he's telling him the story of Voldemort? Or did I write that out of location?
I think he does make a comment. He makes a comment right here. Your mom and dad were as good a witch and wizard as I ever knew. Head boy and head girl at Hogwarts in their day.
I feel like a lot gets thrown at him.
Yeah.
Right away.
So, Voldemort, he's a motherfucker. Voldemort. He tried to kill Lily and James. Didn't work out so well. Well, I mean, it did, but he also tried to kill the baby. That didn't work out so well. Harry has something very painful going on in his head. He's remembering things differently. He hears the high, cruel laugh. He's starting to put it all together in his mind. Vernon's like, no, that's not okay. I decided you're not going to be a wizard. I was going to stop it all out of you. All wizards are weirdos, and they're all going to come to a sticky end. And Hagrid is not okay with Vernon living off.
No, he starts warning him. He's had enough of it. He is back to being upset with him again, and he says, not another word.
And Vernon flattens himself against the wall, falls silent. Hagrid is like, alright, back to my storytelling. Thank you very much.
So Harry's looking at this giant guy like he is crazy a little bit. He tells him he thinks he's made a mistake, that he's not sure he's got the right boy.
Harry just can't wrap his mind around what he's telling him. If he's a wizard, why don't everybody turn into bats? Why doesn't his whole family explode every time they piss him off? He doesn't understand
why Dudley's always been able to be a bully to him.
Yeah, how he could be a wizard. And Hagrid just laughs at him when he tells him it could be a mistake. And he's like, not a wizard. You don't make things happen when you're scared or angry. Harry starts to think about it, and he's like, actually, yeah. All that shit always happens when I'm mad, now that you mention it.
He says he always managed to get revenge on Dudley for whatever Dudley did to him. In one way or another, he would kind of get him back.
Hadn't he set the boa constrictor
Right,
on?
like he sicked a giant-ass snake on a kid.
Didn't even know he did that.
Hagrid's just smiling at him like, yeah, see? You're a wizard.
Starting to get it.
He tells him he's going to be famous at Hogwarts.
And there's Vernon once again like, wait. I said no. I read those letters and he needs all sorts of shit. I'm not buying it. Not gonna have it. And Hagrid's just like,
a muggle like you's going to stop him? No.
He's going, and that's just all there is to it. He's gonna be with the people that he needs to be with. He's gonna be under the best headmaster that Hogwarts has ever seen, Albus Dumbledore.
He tells Mr. Dursley that his name has been down since the day he was born.
He was
I think-
pre-registered.
Right. To drive a point home like, look, dude, this has been planned. Okay?